Hey YouTubers, Electric Adventures here with a quick response video to edt1138's weekly Top 3 Tuesday question, which is what of the three things that you, what's the exact wording, you're willing to overspend to get. So these are the three things that, so that could be taken future things or current things. I'm going to go for current things, so things that I have believed that I've wanted so much that I've spent more than I would normally. And my number three, and no, it's not my number one, are the Sega 3D glasses that I picked up recently. Now, yes, I did go further in the eBay auction than I was willing to, but I believe for the condition of the box and the condition of the packing and the glasses inside and the fact that they work, that in the end I didn't get a bad deal. So probably paid a little bit of a premium, but it was probably better than getting other sets that then didn't work, and they do indeed work. So that's my number three. Now number two, in my previous things you know that I've got a fair bit of Intellivision stuff. A lot of that stuff came in one lot, and it actually came with two Intellivisions, one boxed and one loose. And I got these and neither of them worked. Now this lot I actually paid a reasonable amount of money for. I think in the end over $200, because, you know, I was assuming I'd get a couple of Intellivisions. It did come with the two IntelliVoices, both of which do work, and a whole bunch of boxed Intellivision cartridges that aren't in bad shape. So you know, I thought, you know, if I'm going to finally get an Intellivision, I might as well get a good lot like that. But neither of the Intellivisions work. They both have different problems, but I can't get a picture on either of them. So that's the old working the last time I used it thing on eBay rather than I just tested it, which is hard to get the truth out of people sometimes. So then, of course, in frustration, I've spent all the money on that one. Another Intellivision lot came up with an Intellivision that said it was working, showed screenshots, and actually had a few more cartridges in boxes, and I went for that. But that went for over $100 as well. So you can say that my current Intellivision collections cost me about $300, which is a lot of money. It is good though. I'm not saying that I wouldn't do it again. I just would have preferred not to have ended up with 3 Intellivision units. Now you never know, I may be able to fix one of the 2 dead Intellivisions using cross parts, because I think one of them is only because one of the controllers has a shorted cable in it. So if I can fix that by switching out a controller from one of the others, and then maybe I can sell that. With a couple of I do have a couple of loose Intellivision spares. I suppose I've got one box one as well, and I can package that up and maybe sell it and maybe get some of my money back. And the number one item, and this happened a little while ago, so it wasn't recently. Now you may have heard me talk about this little thing. Now the reason why, after a long period of time, I decided to finally get an MSX2 Plus machine, in this case machine, was because I was becoming more active on the MSX forum, which for those who don't know is msx.org, and getting interested in my software and people interested in looking at it. And I went to use my Spectra Video, and the double-sided drive that I had in it wouldn't read any of my discs, wouldn't read any discs at all, wouldn't read the single-sided ones or the double-sided ones. And I went, I can't not have a working machine. And I thought maybe my discs had degraded or something like that. But so I got some new floppy disks and tried them and formatted them, and they wouldn't work either. So the drive was dead. And this unit popped up. I got it for a reasonable amount. The freight was a bit, and it took a while to arrive. When it arrived, I excitedly plugged it in, turned it on, it worked, and then the screen went brown and there was a popping sound, and I went, oh my god. And I'd blown the power supply, because, and I said, look, here we go, here is the switch at the back. I assumed the unit had been power modded because it came from the Netherlands, but it still has its original Japanese power supply. all they'd done was put a new switch on the back at some stage. So I'm still hoping to fix this one day, and this is a very, very nice MSX2 Plus machine. For those who haven't seen it before, it's virtually brand new. I just need to get the power working. So then I went, I still want to read my disc. So on the forums I got in contact with a guy that repairs MSX machines called Baz, and he had this unit for sale, and we spec'd it up a bit. It's got the turbo switch, it's got 512k of RAM, it had a floppy drive, and there's another spare one that he sent me as well. So that came over and got a reasonable rough journey, as you can see by the front of the case there, and you turn it on and you just get a blank screen. And this one cost me more money than the other one, and I went, oh. So then there was a period of frustration where I had to, I'd spent most of my money at that stage. I had to save it again, and I thought I'd give it one more go, and that's how I ended up with the one I have. And I guarantee you, 2 weeks after I got that one, I visited my friend in Melbourne, and he gave me the Express that sits up there in that box, and it had a double-sided drive upgrade, which was also dead, funny, but also its original single-sided drive. I'd thrown mine out or whatever at some stage way in the past. His was still in there. So his keyboard was a bit clunky, so I put his single-sided drive in my Express, and it worked, and it reads all the discs that are single-sided. So I do have some double-sided ones though that it obviously can't read, and they read fine in the Panasonic that I do have. So very long story. Hopefully it was interesting, but that's the most money and the most effort I went to get a particular system. But I'm now happy because I do have a working MSX2 system. It's got 2 drives, and it reads all of my original discs, which means I've got access to my source code, and allowed me to put all of my basic games that I wrote are actually updated on up on my website. So if you do want to have a look, feel free to go on my website, electricadventures.net, and download the most of the basic games that I wrote, and you'll have to play them on an emulator if you don't have an MSX machine. But anyway, let me know how you go. But thanks Ed for a wonderful response video. Make sure you check out Ed's original video, and I'll put a link below.